परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द 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 परमशिवोऽहम्
नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वाधीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्याधिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतम् भावाधीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nityanam everyone. Today is the first day of Vijayotsavam. Vijayotsavam is the celebration of the worst genocidal attack turning into a grand unimaginable victory for Hindus. For more than 2000 years, indigenous Hindu civilizations, which thrived in 56 nations and spanned 6 million square kilometers of Asia, was wiped off through mass murders and killing more than 400 million indigenous Hindu people. Vijayotsavam, today, the anti-spiritual element Suicide Day, is the day when the same genocide was attempted on the 1008th incarnation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashiva. And we all know what happens when demons, anti-spiritual elements, try to attack Paramashiva. They all had set the stage for their own destruction. The day Ravana airlifted Sita, he decided to commit suicide. The same way, the day they attacked, tried to eliminate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, they decided to commit suicide. Each and every anti-spiritual enemy has turned into a war horse that pulls the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's chariot forward to the grand success of Kailasa, the only Hindu nation. The anti-spiritual elements are consumed by their own hatred and anger and didn't realize that the more they cherish enmity towards Paramashiva, the faster they pull the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's chariot forward. Once the mad horse is tamed by its own hunger, it will drive the chariot of its tamer. Today, we celebrate not the suicide of any people, but the suicide of anti-spiritual ideologies, anti-spiritual and anti-Hindu elements. The more Hinduism's enemies cherish enmity, the more they pull the Dharma Ratha, the wheel of the cosmic justice, to roll forward, thereby killing their own purpose and destroying themselves. The magnificence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's victories over every attack is that each were victories for the grand narrative of Hinduism itself. Using warfare and lawfare, they drove the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism literally homeless and nameless. But he returned creating Kailasa, which is a real nation that is now immune to all warfare and lawfare, giving the possibility of sovereign land for all Hindus today who are driven homeless and nameless by anti-spiritual elements. When the anti-spiritual elements froze all of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's bank accounts to stop all social and humanitarian services, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism responded by creating the Reserve Bank of Kailasa, which is now a safe haven for all dharmic services for the 2 billion Hindus. The anti-spiritual elements created algorithmic typhoons on the internet, jamming the internet by spreading mass, distorted, and defaming information about the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and many other indigenous Hindu leaders. Today, those same algorithmic torrents spread the news of Kailasa's success like wildfire, giving avenues for all Hindus in all these spaces to have their voice heard through Kailasa's social media services and embassies. The anti-spiritual elements which illegally imprisoned the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, throwing on him false rape cases in various false charges. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was imprisoned, starved, and tortured, but without waiting even a moment to give back, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, from within the jail cell itself, organized for all the prison inmates to have free food through the Annadan services. Today, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism feeds free meals to millions all over the world, astonishingly reducing the crime rate of every city Kailasa provides free Annadan services. The anti-spiritual elements didn't allow him to keep his own deities in his land. He was not allowed to worship in his own home. But through Kailasa's foreign services, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has sought out the safest homes for Hinduism, its people, and temples in lands where Hinduism is not even recognized as a religion. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has established diplomatic relations and secured agreements with their leaders to allow Hindu worship to happen undisturbed, thereby giving homes for practicing Hindus around the world. The anti spiritual forces use lawfare to ban the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism from speaking and teaching Hinduism. Through Kailasa, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has given voice to 2 billion Hindus to speak out about the violation of human and divine rights done to them. The anti spiritual elements back the sacredness of the sannyas order that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism belongs to. Through Kailasa, no sadhu now needs to fear for their lives or their freedom to follow that tradition. Today is the day we celebrate these and many more unfathomable victories of Hinduism. Through the grand narrative of Kailasa, all by the divine grace and blessings of the thousand-made incarnation, the Paramavatara of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashiva. Today is the convergence of the space-time when all Hindus are blessed to have all their prayers for refuge, rescue, and rejuvenation delivered by the only Hindu nation of Kailasa. We celebrate today as the day when the anti-spiritual elements expose themselves and set a cosmic course for the ultimate destruction of themselves and all anti-spiritual, anti-Hindu elements through the establishment of the only Hindu nation of Kailasa. By the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashiva.
Start. ராஜகுலதிலகலோகத்தின் அதிபதி நாடாளும் நாயகன் அழகன் குழகன் ஆனந்தஜித்தன் கைலாசபதி காவலன் கைலாச அடியார் காதலன் அரண் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவம் எழுந்தருளி வாரார்.
The victory of the ultimate manifestation, Paramavatara of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, over the anti-spiritual elements and negative forces of the world. The festival of Vijayotsavam begins today on the 2nd of March with the anti-spiritual elements Suicide Day, the day when the evil forces of Adharma launched their multi-pronged attack on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, in order to assassinate him and destroy his spiritual community and his mission to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. In the year 2010, the Hindu media elements, the terrorists, showed a morphed video of the Supreme Pontiff and kindled collective negativity against him in media. These Hindu media terrorists even barged into the monastery, set fire to the Supreme Pontiff's personal living quarters where he was staying in on this day in 2010. Whenever anti-spiritual elements gang up and attack a living incarnation, by the law of cosmic justice, by the law of karma, their own actions come back onto them, thereby destroying themselves. The moment Ravana airlifted Sita, he committed suicide. So, literally, the anti spiritual elements, by attacking the living manifestation of Paramashiva, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashiva, committed suicide on this very day. This is the day when every year Kailasa stands exhibiting its commitment to all the gurus, incarnations, temples, and ancient Sarvagnya Pithas that have been attacked by anti spiritual elements during the longest ongoing genocide of indigenous peoples in the world history by Hindu Mesia forces. On March 2nd, we, the people of Kailasa, stand in solidarity with the entire Guru Parampara, with all the Hindu saints and Hindu religious and spiritual leaders in this world to show our commitment to protecting and spreading the light of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. This festival of Vijayotsavam kindles in all the Hindu warriors all over the world the fire of Kshatriyatva in order to align us all towards the noble goal of protecting and reviving Sanatana Hindu Dharma on planet Earth, as envisioned and enmissioned by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashiva.
On this occasion of Anti-Spiritual Element Suicide Day, we here in Nityanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalaya at Adi Kailasa Nityananda Pita Sarvagnya Pita will now witness the ritual of Shatru Samhara, the ritual symbolizing the destruction of demonic forces. In the story of Chandika Parameshwari in the Devi Mahatmyam, when all the demons captured the Devaloka, all the gods maintained the powerful vow of ahimsa, of non-violence, which pleased Devi Paramashiva Shakti. Out of her deep compassion, she assumes the form of Mahishasura Mardini and slays the demon Mahishasura. In the Devi Mahatmyam, Devi plays the divine Leela and says, Gajja Gajja Kshanam Mudha Maduyavat Pibamyaham Mayatvayi Hatetreva Gajjishyantyashu Devataha. She tells Mahishasura, "O fool, just rejoice yourself for a few more moments while I am filled with supreme bliss. Very soon you will be destroyed and all the gods will be rejoicing here in this very place." Similarly, let us now reenact the Shatru Samharam done by Devi Chandika Parameshwari, where we showcase that no matter how strong the Hindu Mesia forces may be, they are eventually bound by the laws of cosmic justice and end up paying the price for their actions. While the Supreme Pontiff is protected by Devi Paramashiva Shakti, Bhagavan Kalabhairava, others, and other ferocious gods and goddesses of Kailasa, thus bringing victory to Kailasa and Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Here in the Shatru Samhara courtyard of Nityanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalaya, the Utsava Vigraha of Devi Paramashiva Shakti graces us here with all the ferocious manifestations of Paramashiva, Bhagavan Kalabhairava, Gajasamhara Murti, Yamantakar, who is the Kalasamhara Murti, and the Tripurantakar, along with the Utsava Vigraha of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam. The effigy prepared here today is an embodiment of the anti-spiritual ideologies, anti-Hindu elements. Rituals are, as per Hinduism, are recreations of cosmological events. March 2nd, 2010 was when malefic anti-spiritual forces in space-time had converged to annihilate Hinduism. The ritual is a cosmological event in space-time, and here we are ritualistically witnessing the anti-spiritual elements in the form of the effigy, and before the court of cosmic justice, cosmic energy, cosmic mother, Paramashiva Shakti herself, who at that time protected and guided the Supreme Pontiff when the attack first happened. We stand witness today to a convergence of parallel dimensions of the universe. Literally, Paramashiva Shakti, Mahakala Bhairava, and all the manifestations of Paramashiva, Tripurantakar, Yamantakar, and Gajasamhara Murti are alive and ferociously here with us. In this cosmic courtyard, let us now begin the rituals of the Vijayotsavam Shatru Samharam. With Sakshat Dandavat Pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, we request his divine grace and blessings for the burning of the effigy, symbolizing the destruction of the anti-spiritual elements by the hands of cosmic justice. We'll now begin the rituals of the Shatru Samharam. Please be seated with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Bring your awareness to the Ananda Gandha Chakra and please be in a deep space of devotion and gratitude. Nityanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Nityanandeshwara Paramashiva Samarambham Nityanandeshwari Paramashiva Shakti Madhyamam Nityananda Pariyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Lalathe Tripundri Nitila Dhrita Kasturi Tilakaha Spuran Maladhara Spurita Katika Upina Vasanaha Dadano Dushtaram Chirasi Phanirajam Shashikalam Pradipa Sarvesham Arunagiri Yogi Vijayate Aratrikam Om Somo va etasya rajyamadhatte Yo raja sanrajyo vaso me nayajate Devasuva medhani havigumsi bhavanti Ya etavanto ve devanagum savaha Taevasme sa. We are now witnessing the battle of the Shatru Samharam. The large bulk of the 700 verses of the Durga Shaptasati are the description of Devi Chandika Parameshwari destroying the Asuras, the Danavas, and the glories of how she is continuously battling with the various types of demons.
Yes, and in fact, the Supreme Pontiff himself reveals that the demons in the Devi Mahatmyam are nothing but the various manifestations of our own false identity, our ego, which are constantly battling with our master, our Guru. It is our Guru who knows best how to defeat all of these egos in our way to enlightenment.
Mahishasura comes in various forms, in fact. He comes as an elephant, as a buffalo, and also as a demon. Devi also battles demons like Raktabija, Shumbha, Nishumba, who have insane and powers of multiplication and strength. But Devi gracefully, with tremendous will persistence, removes these demons one by one, bringing safety and protection to all the Devas and to the whole cosmos itself.
And this context of Devi Mahatmyam has a stark similarity to the life of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam, and what he has faced from the anti-spiritual Hindu media forces who are constantly trying to destroy his mission to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Bhagwan has faced attacks in all the forms from these various anti-spiritual elements, ranging from media trial, character assassination, lawfare, cultural genocide, and ethnic cleansing. And all of these attacks, just by the virtue of him being constantly established in the space of Paramashivatva, Paramadvaita, has made all these attacks not just redundant, but has made them backfire onto these forces.
Yes, it is in fact the spark of devotion to one's Guru, to Paramashiva, that gives one strength to overcome any enemy, any conflict, or any suffering. It is Paramashiva Shakti's magnificence which was there in her state of enlightenment, in her Paramashivatva, that gave her the strength to overcome all of the Danavas and all of the demons. It was her devotion to Paramashiva.
And let's not forget that in the words of the Supreme Pontiff himself, Hinduism is nothing but Guru Shishya Parampara. And it is this Guru Parampara that all these anti-spiritual elements are trying to destroy. And why is that? It is because, again, as Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam, has put it, all the spirituality on planet Earth, and not just Hinduism, all the spirituality on planet Earth is saved, is protected only by Guru Parampara. It is only by this constant and consistent transfer of the light of enlightenment, the flame of knowledge from Guru to disciple, through the process of Diksha, initiation, that the light of enlightenment is kept alive on planet Earth. And it is this Guru Parampara that is victorious today against all these forces, the demonic forces who are trying to destroy the possibility of the superconscious breakthrough on planet Earth.
We'll now begin the ritual. Aratrikam Somo va etasya rajyamadhatte Yo raja sanrajyo va some nayajate Devasuva methani havigumsi bhavanti Ya etavanto ve devanagum savaha Taevasme savan prayachanti Tayena punasuvante rajyaya Devasuraja bhavati न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकं नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुठोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भाषा सर्वमिदं विभाति कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिवशक्त्यै नमः। श्री महाकालभैरव स्वामिने नमः। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि रक्षान् धारयामि। After offering the arati to all of the deities, we will now witness the lighting of the torch, the Tivetti, and we will now witness the burning of the effigy.
सर्वबाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वर प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी एवमेव त्वया कार्यम् अस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम् हर 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 भगवान नित्यानंदेश्वर के देवी नित्यानंदेश्वरी के श्री काल भैरव स्वामी के भगवान नित्यानंद परम शिवम के अन्नामलयार के श्री अन्नामलयार के श्री अन्नामलयार के
At this auspicious moment in the divine presence and grace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, all the gods and goddesses are blessing us, protecting us, and showering us with all of their love and blessings. Devi, in the Devi Mahatmyam, gives a promise to the Devas. She says, Itham yada yada bada danuvotha bhavishyati tada tadavatiraham karishyam yadi samkshayam. She promises that whenever the Danavas arise, whenever the demonic anti-spiritual elements arise, she will manifest again and put an end to them again and again. Bhagavan Sri Krishna promises the same in the Bhagavad Gita, saying, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskrutam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. From yuga to yuga, he will manifest again to establish dharma. Today, we celebrate that they have kept their promise and manifested in our lives as our beloved Guru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashiva. With this, with deep love and gratitude, we surrender at his divine lotus feet. We now offer the Laghu Puja to the deities. Om Dhurasi Dhurva Dhurvantam Dhurvatanyo Osman Dhurvatitam Dhurvayam Vayam Dhurvamastvam Devanamasi Sasnitamam Papritamam Jishtatamam Banhitamam Devahutamam Ahritamasi Havirdhanam Trigum Hasvamahva Amitrasyatva Chakshusha Prekshir Mabhirma Sambikta Matva Higum Sishum. Shri Nityanandeshwari Paramashiva Shaktiye Namaha. Shri Mahakala Bhairava Swamine Namaha. Shri Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Bhagavate Shri Nityananda Paramashivaya Namaha. Sarvapyo Devatabhyo Namaha. Dhupam Aghrapayami. Om Uddipya Svajata Vedo Bhaktim Nirritim Mama Vasugushyamakyamavaha Jivanam Chatisho Dasha Bano Higam Sirjata Vedo Gamasvam Purusham Jagate Abhidradagna Agahi Sriyama Paripataya. Shri Nityanandeshwari Paramashiva Shaktiye Namaha. Shri Mahakala Bhairava Swamine Namaha. Shri Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Bhagavate Shri Nityananda Paramashivaya Namaha. Sarvabhyo Devatabhyo Namaha. Deepam Sandarshayami. Atha Naivedyam. Om Madhuvatarata Yate Madhuksharanti Sindavaha. Madhvirna Santoshasihi Madhunakta Mutoshasi Madhumatpartivagum Rajaha Madhutyorastu Napita Madhumanno Vanaspatir Madhuvagum Vastu Suryaha Madhvirgavo Bhavantunaha Madhu Madhu Madhu. Shri Nityanandeshwari Paramashiva Shaktiye Namaha. Shri Mahakala Bhairava Swamine Namaha. Shri Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Bhagavate Shri Nityananda Paramashivaya Namaha. Sarvabhyo Devatabhyo Namaha. Amritam Maha Naivedyam Nivedayami. Naivedyanantaramachamaneeyam Samarpayami. Om Raja Adirajaya Prasakya Sahine Namo राजाधिराजाय प्रसह्यतायिने नमो वयं वै श्रवणाय कुर्महे समे कामान् कामकामाय मह्यं कामेश्वरो वै श्रवणो ददातु कुबेराय वै श्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिवशक्तिये नमः। श्री महाकालभैरव स्वामिने नमः। श्री सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। कर्पूर नीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि रक्षां धारयामि। सोनाद्रीशावताराय ज्योतिस्तंभस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। तत्त्वज्ञानप्रदाताय नित्यानन्देश्वररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। मूलप्रकृतिरूपाय परमशिवशक्तिस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। दण्डत्रिशूलहस्ताय कालकालस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। आदिपूज्याय देवाय सकृत्पूर्णत्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। सर्वाभयविनाशकाय शत्रुसंहाररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। योगपट्टाभिषिक्ताय राजसन्न्यासधारिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। सार्वभौमैकपत्याय राजराजार्चिताय च श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं कल्पवृक्षाय मङ्गलं ज्ञानदायिने परमशिवाय श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वराय मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं श्रीविद्याम्बायै मङ्गलं कामदायिन्ये सर्वमङ्गलधात्री नित्यानन्देश्वर्यै मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं गुरुदेवाय मोक्षमूलाय मङ्गलम्। परमावताराय नित्यानन्दाय गुरवे मङ्गलम्। त्वं स्मृतमहं धन्य मम प्राणमहेश्वर गङ्गाधरनामेति स्तोत्रस्थानं दधाम्यहम्। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्। सर्वं भगवत् श्रीनित्यानन्द परमशिव पादुकार्पणमस्तु। ॐ नित्यानन्दम्।
We thank you all for joining us for this grand ritual of the Vijayotsavam. We invite all of you to join us for the further celebrations of the Vijayotsavam. Importantly, at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, we will be having a special satsang conducted by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Shri Nityananda Paramashivam. Thank you, Nityanandam.
ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम्। ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम्। परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द 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 परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द